I am milking this to death. We just got done talking about ink monitoring for the Pro-1000 with the original cartridges. So what are the dangers of you disabling ink monitoring? Well, obviously, you don't want to start printing huge jobs, okay, multiple, 17 by 22s. And if you have the new firmware, even longer than that, without constantly checking those ink levels. And the only way you're going to check the ink levels, you cannot see through the cartridge, is to either shake it and you determine there's ink in there, or weigh it. Anything above 32 grams, that means there's ink in there. So 32 would be 0 out. If you have 40, then you have 8 grams of ink, okay? If you have 50, you have 18 grams of ink. So that's how you do it. You have to do this pretty much constantly, depending how much you print. So never allow a cartridge to go empty to the point where you weigh it and it weighed 32 grams last week and you're still printing with it, because it will allow you to continue to print. You only have so much ink internally stored in this printer, okay? It's only so much. So you don't want to play with danger, because you could screw up a very expensive printer by doing that. The best way, of course, single-use chips. If you are refilling, or just buy OEM cartridges, $60 a pop. That's your other option. Or use $12 chips one at a time and refill each cartridge as needed. And that way you still maintain full ink monitoring. The cartridge will operate as an original cartridge. It just simply will not allow you to disable ink monitoring if you choose to go that route. Companies like InkOwl that sell an ink set for the Pro-1000 simply just tell you to disable ink monitoring as needed. And you could do that one at a time if you wish. But again, you are then entering into that unknown world where you're going to have to then very carefully, physically monitor the ink content of a cart that you cannot see through, okay? That's on you at this point. You are responsible for that. Imagine, look at your gas, okay? Your gas tank in your car. You have a gas gauge that tells you when you're about to go empty, and you go and get some gas and you top off that tank. That is what you're doing here. So how do you know when this is almost empty? Well, how about when it weighs about 35 grams? That just means you have 3 grams of ink left. That would be a good time to top that off. Okay, don't wait until it hits 32, because you might have waited a couple of days extra, printed a couple of extra jobs, and now you have air in that ink line. Don't push your luck at all, okay? Consider disabling ink monitoring very, very carefully. What if I do it and then I change my mind? Well, in order to reestablish ink monitoring, you're going to have to insert a new cartridge, one that you buy at the store, okay? That would be the only way to do that. And I suppose you could insert, say, an empty one. If you happen to have a bunch of cartridges like I do, I have a ton of these. Insert an empty one, or one that was almost empty, and it will then restore ink monitoring on that channel at that particular level, and then you can go ahead and buy a new one and insert it, or get a single-use chip and reinsert it. You could also revive it by inserting a new single-use chip onto your cartridge. Fill it up, pop it back in. It will read as full. It will be detected as a genuine cartridge, by the way. It just will not allow you to disable ink monitoring. You need an original chip to do that. I believe that is the case. All right. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And until the next time, wow, happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.